All right, here we go. Hi everyone, my name is Monica Slisky, and I'm hoping to pause your scrolling for a minute for an announcement of sorts. My New Year's resolution for 2021 was to find a way to be more of a mental health advocate after spending most of 2020 doing some immense healing from past pains and trauma and trying to find out the ins and outs of my own depression as well as everyone else's. Now, I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to accomplish this goal due to crippling anxiety and the fear of people, quote unquote, hating it. However, due to some recent series of events, I've found a new boost of confidence and hope to be able to get me through this and be able to share something that I'm actually very excited to share with you. Now, due to the anxiety, I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get through posting a potentially cringy video of myself all over the internet and with hands that are constantly shaking. But bringing exposure to these shaky hands is exactly why I am sitting in front of you today, because I want to be able to introduce a way to have unashamed and open conversation about what is behind every person's masked face, and I mean that literally and figuratively in today's society. Now, over the last year with COVID lockdowns and for myself being fortunate enough to work at a cozy healthcare desk job, my social anxiety suffered immensely, and I found myself being scared of human interaction, nervous about going out in public, and beyond scared, to be completely honest, about the idea of not having my mask on, which I'm sitting here in front of everyone being able to be without a mask and try to level out some of that social anxiety that we are all experiencing, being able to stay at home and not show ourselves. And that is something that I'm hoping to change. So at the beginning of this video, I had mentioned that there was a series of events that brought me to the conclusion of being here and having a conversation, and that is starting with the beginning of this year, where I found out my temporary position was ending sooner than I thought, and I had less than 4 weeks to find full-time employment in order to be able to upkeep on bills in life and, just the sorts. And I was very, very fortunate to obtain full-time employment as a personal attendant. And on my first training shift, which was this past Tuesday, I had a bit of a shock. So I went from speaking to people on the phone, people who were older but coherent, and that was nothing in comparison to what I experienced on my first day, which was in the specific part of the building I was training in. I was working with clients who primarily suffered with dementia and Alzheimer's, and at various degrees. And I went from not speaking to anybody or being in close contact with people to literally helping people in their most vulnerable moment. And it's difficult because you sign up for it. You sign up to change diapers and change clothes and be there with them when their family cannot. And I was overwhelmed. I felt so mentally drained by the end of the day, and I didn't know how I was going to get through it. I didn't know how I was going to return back to the next shift and keep that upbeat and energy that I usually bring with myself. And that's when I realized that my social anxiety had won, that my mental health was much worse than I thought it was, because things that I signed up for, things that I went to school for to do, I couldn't do. And it broke me. It broke me down, and I didn't know what to do next. And there was this one client that I had worked with who is in transitional living and was not supposed to be there for long and has now been there for 6 years waiting to get a spot in the same long-term care home as her husband. And I was shocked, and it hurt me because I come home to an amazing support system. I have a wonderful mother, a wonderful sister, and a wonderful boyfriend who all help me through every single emotional roller coaster I go through. And when I came home defeated from my first shift, that support system got me through. And thinking about the people who are without their support systems because they are literally locked away from them because COVID is heartbreaking. And so therefore, I want to be able to provide opportunities to feel connected and feel a part of something bigger than yourself through what I'm doing right now, and that is having a conversation. Therefore, the reason why I'm here and rambling in front of you today is introduce that I'm starting a video podcast of sorts. I'm calling it Moody Monica Mondays, and in videos to come, I will explain the reason in between the name and as well as what this means to me, and whether or not people want to be a part of this journey with me is completely up to you. However, I would be greatly appreciative if we were able to have an unapologetic, open conversation about mental health and mental disorders of different kinds. And what I'm hoping to do is that every single week on a Monday, release a video to either bring light to a specific disorder or just a word that has to do with mental health and what we are all struggling in together. And with this videoing platform, hope to be able to at least let one person know that they're not alone, and we can all do it together. And despite how complicated the world may be right now, it's not going to get any better if we don't stick together. So here I am, trying to be as open as possible with everybody out there, and hope that we can do this together, and let me be a crutch. And thank you so much, and I'm hoping to see where this journey takes us.